not always easy being human, and a lot of our problems come down to the same few basic points. One, we have trouble separating fantasy from reality. And when I say reality, I mean that reality that we can all agree upon. When I say fantasy, I mean that reality that exists alone inside my head or alone inside of yours. Now, these two have a relationship with one another because we cannot help but experience outer reality through our own set of perceptual filters. But it becomes a problem when these inner filters dominate, and suddenly we find ourselves separated from everybody else, living in our own world. And it's also a problem if we're too much influenced by other people's filters and unable to get in touch with our own self. Now, the next thing that poses problems for us humans is other people. We can be doing great on our own, particularly if we're, spiritually evolving and we meditate and we can find blissful, peaceful states. We can finish a meditation and we can glide out of the room and within a few moments find ourselves in a fight. What's up with that? Well, it's because an inner character was activated. And so this brings me to the next point, which is that it's not just other people out there that pose a challenge for us. It's the other people inside of us that pose the greatest challenge. So these other people, this cast of inner characters that composes our personality, are what's known as archetypes. And the archetypes shape our experience. They're just the basic templates for whatever we can possibly experience in the world. But they also have a kind of power of their own and a set of drives, desires, aversions, etc. And when an archetype is activated, it can possess our whole being so that we think we are that archetype. So we can become a hero or a warrior or a victim or the great mother or a voice of authority. These are all archetypal characters. And sometimes they're helpful and useful. Sometimes they give us some charge. They connect us to life. But very often, they distort our thinking. They cause problems. They separate us from reality. And they separate us from other people. It's the tension between these characters that forms the kind of inner tension that we might feel in life. How one part of us might want nothing but peace and harmony, while another part of us is always either stirring up drama unconsciously or inviting people into our lives to do that. So these characters can be expressed either through possession states within us where we become that character, or through projection where somebody else in our life plays that role for us. And this is very common. So, say for example, you were born with a tendency to experience a strict and judgmental father. This is a way of expressing the father archetype. The other side of it could be a kind of wise, guiding, empowering energy. But say that you have an inclination to experience the strict and judgmental. Now, this would be shown by your astrological birth chart. Now, you're born this way, and then your actual father, or it could actually be your mother, doesn't really matter because archetypes are not literal like this. They can be experienced through anybody. But one of your parents might have this strict and judgmental quality. And then that is going to become a suitable landing place for the projection of the archetype. You're going to get positive feedback because the reality out there is going to accord with the reality in here. And then that feedback loop starts creating itself, and it starts digging itself deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the time we reach adulthood, the tracks are firmly laid, and it's set the template for how we're going to relate to other people throughout our lives. So, hope is not lost, because it is possible to become conscious of the inner reality and to start relating to the inner reality as its own reality, something separate from outer reality, and which might from time to time align with outer reality, but not necessarily. So when we can begin to do this, then we can begin to kind of pull apart this whole fantasy reality issue. And doing that, we're going to start relating to other people better, because we're going to see what part of it is me, or what part of me is being activated right now by this other person, and what part of that other person is being activated by me. So, one final thing that I'll say, you might have some characters in you that cause a lot of problems, and you might see characters in other people that cause a lot of problems. Try not to approach them with hate or revulsion. Try to just see them for what they are and love them and be grateful for them as guides to further awakening, because they're really here to teach you. And if you are willing to learn their lessons, then you will grow exponentially in consciousness and experience something that's greater than happiness. It's a real peace and a real power that comes with that. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and click the link to join the mailing list so that you can stay up to date on offers for courses and consultations and for more free content. Thank you.